Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And welcome to my video guide on the level 70 Crystal Awakening batch number 7 fight. This is called the Confronting the Core, and of course this is going to be on the Chaos difficulty fight. Now, without further ado, let's start this off, as always, with the boss's abilities, weaknesses, resistances, and the elements that it can absorb. This time around, it's going to be the CPU boss with an attack node and a defense node. The CPU has weakness to both thunder and holy elements. It does not have any resistances and cannot absorb any elements. As for its abilities, it changes depending on the order in which the attack node or the defense node are defeated. It does have its basic attacks, like its normal brave attack, which is a magic brave attack, laser, which recovers itself from the break status and increasing its brave and will do a magic HP attack, diffractive laser, which is a magic brave attack, run enhanced program 1, which raises all its stats, Run Enhanced Program 2 raises the party's attack, defense, and speed, and finally Run Enhanced Program number 3, which again just further increases all its stats. Now, if you do decide to kill the attack node first, it will have the following abilities. Object 199, which is its recast ability. This increases its brave when its brave is less than initial brave, and will do a magic HP attack, and will also inflict a defense down, speed down, and max brave down, and this will have a high turn rate. It will have beam shot, which is a magic brave attack. This will remove its own debuffs, frames excluded. Now, if the defense node is defeated first, or either node are defeated during the CPU's turn, it will have the following extra abilities. The first one is called Delete Program, which is going to be its recast ability. This increases brave when its brave is less than its initial brave, then further increases its brave, and will do a group magic HP attack. Next is Concentrated Laser. It recovers itself from the break status and will do a magic brave attack plus HP attack. And finally, Eraser Laser, which is a magic brave attack which removes the target's buffs, frames excluded. Okay, now let's talk about some general tips and guides when it comes to fighting this boss. Now, this is only a one-wave fight, so go all out with your abilities. There's really no reason for you to hold back in using your abilities. You can, from time to time, I guess, use your HP attack plus if you have capped your max brave. Next is to bring in the boosted characters. Now, there are quite a few, there are 6 in total. I do believe the 4 that I'm mentioning are probably the ones that are going to be more helpful to you, especially in the Chaos fight. Of course, Sephiroth and Eiko are here because their weapons are realizable. Jet and Lael are the other 2 that I think will do pretty well. Lael, of course, can launch, and Jet will do massive single target damage. Now, other characters that you may want to consider bringing are basically any characters that you have realized. It's getting more and more, so there's really no reason for me actually to put all those names up in here, so I do want to save a little bit of time. So I just wanted to say any characters that you have invested in and realize their weapons are going to be helpful in this fight. There are no restrictions when it comes to this particular Chaos fight, so bringing your Ultimisia, your Emperor, of course, are going to help here. Now, as for the healers plus brave battery options, I guess you can still bring in Charlotta. Rosa is, I guess, one of the biggest ones that currently, I guess, is the meta to bring. Rem, Kate Sith are still pretty useful, and of course, Ishtola is still there. Now as for the summon, you can bring any summon that you want. You can even bring in the brothers if you want more max brave in total. However, I do highly recommend bringing Ramu because the enemies are weak to the thunder element, so you will be taking advantage of their weaknesses. Okay, so now let's take a look at some general strategies that I have used whilst, fighting this boss, and the first one is for your friend support. I do highly recommend bringing Emperor, but if you for some whatever reason don't have any friends that have Emperor as their support, you can bring Setzer or Agrius. They're definitely going to be helpful, especially Agrius, where paralysis and silence will still work in this particular fight. However, you do have to remember that with the silence, they do have to use a magic brave attack before the HP attack before it actually kicks in. If the boss will just do a magic HP attack, it doesn't work. So that's where Setzer comes in, but I highly recommend trying to find a very good Emperor friend support, and you should be fine. Next is paralysis, delay, or silence are your best friends. Now, previously with the brothers, there are a lot of restrictions on that. However, in this particular fight, the boss doesn't actually have any immunities, so you can apply paralysis to save you some turns, you can delay it, and you can even silence it, as I mentioned before. The next one is to kill the defense node first, as it heals the CPU more than you can actually damage it. For whatever reason, it does heal like 70k or more, if I remember correctly. You can leave down in the comments below and let me know if I'm wrong on that end, but I do highly recommend killing the defense node first because it does heal quite a lot, and you might end up using all your abilities and still not be able to kill the CPU boss. You can opt out to kill the attack node first if you really want to, and just don't do any damage on the boss because it will get killed, but I highly recommend just killing the defense node. Now, the next tip that I can give you guys is if you do decide to follow my advice and kill the defense node first, you can actually leave the attack node up so the CPU will not use its enhanced program 3, therefore making it easier to shave its brave. It won't increase its stats because it only uses enhanced program 3 when you actually kill the attack node. And finally, bring in a healer that can revive, because really you are allowed to have one death with one re-raise. In this video that you guys are seeing, my Sarah actually died and was just re-raised with Rosa's ability, and I still managed to get the score requirement, and of course it doesn't count as a KO because the character did revive. So, having a re-raise is definitely going to help. Okay guys, so now let's take a look at some possible party composition. The first one is going to be your boosted team. I opt out to go with Sephiroth, Eiko, and Lael with an Emperor support and Ramu for the summon. Sephiroth is here just for the Brave Shave and of course the big single target damages. Eiko for heals and buffs, Lael for the launches and more big damages when you do launch, and Emperor support for further more damage. The next team I have for you guys here is the one that you're seeing currently in this video, is Emperor Rosa Sarah with an Emperor support and Ramu for the summon. Now basically, Emperor for big damage, Rosa for heals and revives, and Sarah basically will be your Brave Battery plus debuffs. Those sap-like debuffs actually really helps. It reduces the amount of HP damage that you actually take, so bringing along someone that can actually inflict sap debuff is actually going to be very helpful in reducing the HP damage that you take. Now the third team I have for you guys here is Emperor, Rosa, and Ultimisia with Emperor support and brothers for the summon. This is pretty much like team 2, but it is going to be overkill. Ultimisia to save some turns and will give you higher score, and of course these two, Emperor and Ultimisia, are the biggest DPSs that we have right now in this game. So having both of them in the same team and Rosa for the support is just a bit of an overkill in my honest opinion. But if you want a pretty easy run, I guess you could say, then I highly suggest using this team composition. Now the last team I have for you guys here is Warrior of Light, Y'shtola and Kuja with an Emperor support, and Ramuh for the summon. Warrior of Light is still very useful with its shields. It won't protect you from those HP attacks. That just increases the boss's brave, for example its recast ability. It won't protect you from that. However, it will protect you from like diffractive lasers, and there is one ability that the boss has. I think it's called concentrated laser. Yes, it is the concentrated laser, which it actually uses a brave attack alongside with its HP attack. Sorry, I blanked out for a moment there and I couldn't remember the ability. But Warrior of Light still very useful. Y'shtola for delays, and of course for revives if you do need it. If it was an accident or something you couldn't control, then of course Y'shtola can revive your team. Kuja is here for DPS. He does use the holy element in one of his abilities, I do believe. Now I'm pretty sure it's his ability one called Ring Holy. I'm pretty sure the ultimate is just a magic type attack. It doesn't have any elements attached to it. However, this still does help taking advantage of the boss's weakness. Alright guys, so we're finally at the end of this video, and of course I'll give you guys my final thoughts on this fight. Now, I did find this fight a lot easier because there are less restrictions in terms of a chaos fight, which is actually nice to have. The last couple of chaos fights that we have been in the hard side of things. However, it's a relief that this one doesn't have much restriction. So I do put this in the easy pile in terms of chaos difficulties. It is still quite dangerous because the boss actually uses a lot of HP attacks, and with its recast ability, I should say. And of course the healing and stuff like that, if you don't really know what you're doing, it will make it a lot harder. But if you do kill that healing node, it's pretty okay. It's not that hard. You just have to make sure you do have an AoE Brave Shaver in case that the attack node actually does go up in its brave. So there is a potential for that attack node to actually use its HP attack. So you just have to be a little bit careful with that. However, like I said, because of the amount of choices that we have as players in bringing different characters for this particular fight, I feel like it is very manageable. So that's how I feel about this fight. Let me know your feelings down in the comments below. And yeah, I think I'll end the video right here. Please remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help my channel to grow if you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And of course, clicking that like button is going to help with with the YouTube algorithm and making sure my videos does get out there and for other people to see. Make sure to follow me on my social media. I am on Facebook and on Twitter at Munchkins Gaming. So if you have any questions or you want to talk about Dissidia Opera Omnia, send me a private message. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Anyway guys, like I said, leave down the comments below if which team you actually used to beat this fight and your feelings regarding this particular fight. Let me know down there and I'll go ahead and read them. This is Munchkins logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.